Let's see, where was she? But we are just switching to the next part of our show, in studio with Clay Neves, right? So
that is correct.
It's twice in a row I said it, right?
Twice in a row.
Nice.
It's been pronounced several different ways. It's such a short name, you wouldn't think it had so many ways of being pronounced, but it's Neves, Neves, Nevis. I mean, you know.
I think what it is that we get so used to names sounding so different. Like my last name, I pronounce it Tajideen, but it's not spelled that way. I know it's not. But, oh well, there's a lot of things not spelled right, even in the English language, you know. I mean, who came up with knives anyway? Why is it pronounced knives, right?
I have no idea.
They should take the K out. Then it might be knives.
Yeah, I totally agree.
So Clay is the president of CEO. He's the president and CEO of Personal Sales Dynamics, and he's a club president for CEO Space.
Right.
Utah chapter. He works with small business owners who are serious about growing their business beyond their capabilities. Get a little closer. Beyond their capabilities.
Yeah.
By multiplying profitable and lasting business relationships, he will be sharing with us how two main catalysts for change are: what we learn and how or who we associate with. He talks about how these impact new, transcendent knowledge, skills, attitudes, habits, and relationships.
Wow, I'm going to talk about all that.
Well, we probably won't talk about all of it, but that's the context of what we're going to be talking about. So, Clay, tell me a little bit about your past experience and what brought you up to this point.
Well, I've kind of been in sales and mostly sales management my entire career. The last 32 years in sales management, executive level sales and management at the VP level as well. And I've had great success in understanding the human interaction part of sales, the human relation skills involved, the language involved, the conversations that are successful in sales, all of that side of it, what I call the art.
So you call sales art?
It's art. That's the art side of it. There's also a science side to it, the numbers, the testing, the statistical edge of it, and using the numbers as your platform to continually improve the results.
I've never heard it explained that way, but that's great.
And so you might think of, a lot of people think of sales as just talking to people, but if I were to define it, I'd define it as this. The sales part of your business is optimized when you give the right number of the right conversations to the right people at the right time in the right way about the right problem and its right solution. And that's really what drives it. And so I know that a lot of your listeners might be involved in, let's say, personal relationship development. My expertise, I'd like to think, is more in the business relationship development. They're very much like personal relationships, and of course the best business relationships have definitely that personal component to them. But in business, because business is, at the end of the day, about the numbers. I mean, the language of business is numbers. The relationships in business have a quantitative aspect to them. And so how do we strategically, how do we scientifically, and yet, what's a good word? Magically multiply the relationships we have in business. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Okay.
How do you do that? Now I have to ask you, how do you do that magically? And we have got to talk about sales being art, because there's tons of people. I mean, we both have clients.
Right.
And people do not like to, a lot of people like to do their service, but they don't want to sell our market. But tell me about the magic. Maybe that's part of the magic.
Well, I think the problem that a lot of people have with sales is they they're not thinking about it in the right way.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people think that selling is about me, I don't know, we'll use the word pitching my stuff, you know. And to me, I don't even like to use the word pitch. I don't like to use the word even presentation. I like to use the word conversation. Because if you're having conversations, you're in the right tenor and tone. And what's the essence of conversations, by the way?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it questions? I mean, we're on the show here, and what are you doing to keep the conversation going?
Asking you questions.
You're asking me questions.
If the conversation wasn't going, I'd talk a lot more.
And so,
sometimes I have to fill in the space. So I'm like,
correct.
Oh,
And so,
I'll talk about this.
really, it's about the questions you ask.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people think, well, I got to ask questions because I got to find out what their need is. You know, I got to find out a little more about them.
Sure. When I work with the client, I have to ask them questions to see where
Mhm.
they're at. Because they ask,
Absolutely.
well, what kind of how do you work? How do you do this? Well, this is kind of the basic idea, but we really have to see where you're at,
Right.
whether it's health or marketing. Where are you at, so we can customize it
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah. But the second part of asking questions, and this is where most sales training and most sales books and a lot of other things don't transcend this part. I help my clients understand the questioning sequences, the order of questions to ask that makes it easy for the client to answer them, not only so I can find out something about them, but so they can discover things about themselves that they don't already know. And secondly, they can discover the value of what I'm going to be talking about. Not in terms of my product per se, at least initially, but in terms of the value of solving the problem that we're talking about. Because I don't go into product or solution until we totally have agreed on what the problem is and what the value is of changing that. What is it costing you that this problem is in your business? Wow. What difference would it make to your bottom line? How much more would that put to your bottom line if that went away? I mean, those kind of questions.
Yeah.
And they get out their calculator and they calculate the value of the solution. I don't talk about my product.
So what would you say is the
So,
what do you say is the most important thing you notice with clients that pops up regularly for them?
what do you mean?
Is it money? Is it family? Is it what they're doing for the world? What is it that the most common problem that comes up for them?
Yeah, it's hard to answer because I find every client's different.
Sure.
But basically, I guess I could put it in this term. Our goal in life, at least this is my philosophy, should be to do what we do best, enjoy most, and get paid really well for doing it. What if you could spend 8 hours of your day doing what you do best and nothing else? Would you enjoy your job more? Would you be more valuable to your company? Yes. The problem is that the way companies and jobs are formed is that they put a lot of things in it that are a part of the job, and we accept that job, that some of it goes to our strengths and some of it goes to our weaknesses, right? And we're not going to say maybe in the interview if you want the job, well, you know, you've got to do some Excel spreadsheets and analysis in this job. Is that okay? Or tell me about, oh yeah, I've used Excel before, and you know, we've done some basic stuff maybe, but we don't even know what we don't know in Excel, and then we accept the job and they give it to us and we go in and, oh, you know, the first time we have to put something together that's beyond us, now we have to study, and so that part of our job that is like, yeah, you got to do some Excel reports, you know, offhanded like it's no big deal. I now have to study, and it takes me 2.5 hours to do what I'm not good at, and that crowds the time that I can do what I'm good at, and it makes me feel worse about my job, you know. So we need to think about, okay, what are my strengths? What are our weaknesses? And, I had the opportunity of working with a gentleman by the name of Marcus Buckingham back in the 80s. I was managing several large call centers for a large outsourcing service bureau. And we brought his company in, Don Clifton and Marcus Buckingham, and I can't remember the name of the company back then, but they've both gone on to publish and be huge consultants. But Marcus gave me a principle that was amazing, and he said, Clay, the key to managing people is to focus on their strengths and make their weaknesses irrelevant. Mm-hmm. And so you look at what a person's strength is and how can I expand that to be more valuable with to the company or to what I need. And it's like that personally too. We have this myth, I think, in our society that we have to be good at everything, particularly if we start a business. My goodness, we've got to be good at books, we've got to be good at sales.
I think that's I've noticed that, if I can interject, is that
Sure.
like I didn't know that, becoming an adult at this day and age is like you have to be an accountant and a lawyer and all this stuff and the health care and all these things. I especially had to deal with that with my parents last year and this year, ongoing. But you're supposed to know all this stuff, and then people look at you like, well, why do you just take care of it? Well, that's not my skill set, man.
Exactly.
And I can kind of do it, like I can, do something I never do, but it's like, where did that mindset come from? I think it's because we have so much opportunity and so much possibility that we take it take for granted that people aren't set up that way to a point. And then people get stressed, or they drink, or do opiates, or drugs.
But it's usually always because
so much that comes up
of focusing so much on our weaknesses and not minding our strength. I mean, to me, I think that the reason we are here is to let our light shine. In other words, focus on our strength and make our weaknesses irrelevant. How do we do that? Well, let's look at a football team, for example. Playoff time, good thing to bring up. Go Falcons. Anyway.
I'm just going with it.
Okay.
I'm more of a Cowboys guy.
I love Cowboys too. That was my team when I was growing up. The Cowboys with Staubach and the Vikings with Tarkenton. I love it. But anyway, how many football coaches take their quarterback aside and say, Adam, I've noticed your kicking game is off. So this week I don't want you to throw any passes. I want you over there. I want you kicking the ball because we need to improve your kicking game. They don't do that. Why? What do they want you to focus on? Yeah, I'll have this guy kick. Don't worry about your kicking game. I want you to sharpen your passing. I want you to become even better than you are. I want you to be able to see if you can throw 75 yards instead of just 65. I mean, do you see what I mean? That's what a coach focuses on, right? And so, any one of the members of the team is good at a very narrow area of football, right? And very probably poor at a lot of the other areas of football. Doesn't matter. Because they're a team. And if everybody is in their strength, the weaknesses of the rest of the team don't really matter. But together, they're perfect. Together, they're impenetrable. And it's like that in business, too. And so one of the areas that I really focus on with my clients is networking, for example. And as an ex-Chamber of Commerce president, being involved in CEO space now, BNI, I still coach with Chambers of Commerce. I teach Chambers of Commerce members how to network properly. And I'm still shocked at how many people go out there networking and all they look for are new clients. I need new clients, I need new clients, I need new clients. And it's like, gotta have. Give me a referral, give me a referral.
I was talking about that to a client I had today, is that we're so focused. I think I said us, because I'm coaching, whatever.
Right.
Whatever you want to call it, mentoring, whatever. But we're looking at how much can I get paid?
Yeah.
How much can I bring in that month? And we're just kind of putting through and not paying attention enough probably to the value
Exactly.
that we're giving. And I finally really got it. You know,
Yeah.
with her, it was like, I'm just going to give you all this value. That's what you need to
Yep.
get going from where you're at.
I was in a workshop the other day, and I had I was going around the table asking people what they needed. And I said, I don't want to hear that you need more clients. And this one just couldn't help. It was still, they couldn't help saying it. I need more clients. And I mean, that almost goes without saying, right? But we get around to this one lady, and she said, I need to make more money. And I said, no, you need to provide more value. Stop looking for ways to make money. Start looking for business problems that you're uniquely qualified to solve. The money will follow.
Yeah, and that's what I noticed with this lady. I'm like, oh, this is what I'm supposed to do. Like, and I won't go into that, but packaging it up for her, so because she needs to take action, and that's where I see a lot of people struggle.
Right.
Is taking action. So tell us about CEO Space. We said you're the club president for CEO Space.
And
tell
again,
us what CEO Space is.
I've been involved in networking. Again, past Chamber of Commerce president, BNI for several years, and I've always looked at my circles of influence as networking opportunities and networking spheres. Most of my, well, all of my business comes from referrals and my network. I mean, that's exclusively how I get all my clients. But since joining CEO Space, it's gone to another level because they really get this. And it's the first group I went to that it sounds like, I mean, it felt like, okay, I've died and gone to heaven. We're an international organization of what I like to call cooperative capitalists, okay? And one of our missions
that
is...
That sounds like it's against each other, cooperative capitalists.
You'd think so.
Is that true? Is that possible?
So. But, and I thought they contradicted until I went to the National Forum for the first time and really saw how a massive group of like-minded individuals gave to each other for an entire week. What do you need? What are you looking for? Where are you challenged in your business? What advice can I give? What help can I give? And you're just, all week you're like that, you know? And I was sitting there and I'm going, you know, this must be what heaven is like. We go there and it's all about helping each other. And I thought, what hell our competitive environment can be sometimes. And I thought, that must be what hell is like. And I remember the story about the guy that went to St. Peter and he said, okay, I can't decide, you know, you're right on the line, you could go either way. So go take a look. You know, tell me which way you want to go.
Go back and we'll see,
so
we'll see how you end up next time.
Yeah, he went down to hell and the elevator doors opened up and here's this long table. It's got food on it. It's good food, gourmet food. It's just, he's going, I thought this should be hell. I thought I would be eating dog biscuits or something. This is wonderful. But everybody around the table was angry and yelling at each other and just, it was awful, the people's attitudes. And he noticed that they had forks secured to their hands that were 3 feet long. They couldn't possibly get something and put it in their mouth. And it was frustrating them. I mean, yeah, okay, so if it was dog biscuits, it wouldn't hurt so bad, but this was gourmet food.
Well, if you're hungry, it's
and I can't eat it.
It's going to hurt bad eventually.
He said, oh, I don't want any part of this. So he went back to the elevator, went up, right? And the doors opened up in heaven, and it was exactly the same scene. I mean, the table, the food, the people, the forks, all the same. But one big difference. In heaven, they were feeding each other. You see? Can we do that in business? Yes, I've seen it. And since I've seen it and started getting my team around me, where I can share my strength and they can support my weakness with their strength, yeah, it can be done. And it's formidable. Because your business can be impenetrable that way if you have the right people aligned with all the right strengths in all the right places to cover the things that your business needs to have covered. And that's really what CEO space is all about. Look, how do we become CEOs? Being a CEO is all about putting the team together. You know, and that's really what networking, the higher parts of networking are, is getting those relationships that change you forever, that fill in your holes, that make the game continue. And so we've got some incredible people. You're involved. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And
I forgot to mention that I've been a member since 507.
yeah,
Which
so
is what we say. So
you know, it's like, and this
May 2007.
you graciously came up to me and said, "Hey, you know, would you like an opportunity to be on my show?" And I, absolutely. What can I give you on your show to make it work for you? And we had those kind of discussions.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's that kind of giving. You know, the golden rule, I think, is sometimes misunderstood. We say, do unto others as you would have them do unto you, you know, with the expectation that, Adam, if I give to you, I expect that you give back to me. Mm-hmm. No, that's not what it's about. That might be the bronze rule, maybe, I don't know. But the golden rule is this. God will make happen for you what you make happen for other people. It's not them that pays you back. It's the master chess player that moves us around, that brings the right people into your life at the right time to bless and prosper you. If you are doing the giving, does that make sense?
Sure.
If I'm trying to make life better for you, and I do that with all of my contacts, God will try to make that happen in my life.
Now, I've seen people, and I agree with you. I mean, one of the things I've learned is to give without expecting, right?
Right.
I mean, some situations I do, right? If I pay someone, I expect the work or whatever, but giving on the level you're talking about. Now, what about the people that take and connive and cheat and lie and coax, I don't know how to say it cleanly, blow smoke?
Mm-hmm.
What about those people? Because they get results also.
They get temporary results, but they have to keep building their team. Mm-hmm. They have to keep building their connections. They have to keep finding new connections because they burn out all the old ones. Mm-hmm. How much energy does it take to do that? I think it was not Stephen Covey, but his son, who wrote the book The Speed of Trust, I think it was called. Mm-hmm. But how much is trust worth and relationships that last in business, where you don't have to overcome the trust issue anymore and can just freely flow between each other value without any worry that it's not going to be returned. And when you can build up that team over time and they stay, how much of your time now is freed up to building more value and more relationships?
Oh, sure. Like today.
Yeah.
We're able to do this double show because I've got a team helping me, which I don't usually do. I gotta turn the camera around. You gotta turn the camera on you. Just flip it around.
Yeah.
We'll do it for Facebook.
Show yourself.
Because you're so
Hey guys.
camera shy, Samantha.
Hi.
So, but it was enabled me to relax. That was huge. I'm usually not relaxed before a show. And then have everything was being set up, and we could handle 2 guests easily.
That's awesome.
So that's great.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all about putting the relationships together. There was a gentleman that wrote a book. His name was Thomas Carsey, and the book is entitled Finite and Infinite Games. And he talked about two types of games we play in life. One is finite. Again, that is those are the games that we play within a set of rules, within set time limits, with the objective of bringing the game to an end with a winner and a loser. So football, baseball, basketball, you know, all of the you know, we play them as games, but when they become a serious part of our life, and we see life in a competitive mode, every game we play is finite. He said then there's the infinite games that we play. These are games that are, instead of being played within a set of rules, you play with the rules. As you go, you renegotiate the rules. Instead of, the key is not to bring the game to an end, but infinite games are played to continue play. And as long as you continue play, everybody's winning. Does that, it's a wonderful concept. But family, for example, should be an infinite game. The key is to keep the family together, to keep it going. The marriage together, to keep it going.
Yeah.
Business, by its very nature, is perpetuity. We build a corporation so that it will outlive the founder and continue to go.
That's the idea, anyway.
Yeah, it's an infinite game, or should be. And if we play it as an infinite game, we build these relationships that instead of, I'm going to beat you out of the promotion, I'm going to get it instead of you. And we build a corporate culture of competition internally, where everybody spends half of their time competing and the other half getting stuff done for the company. You know, instead of really understanding that we want to keep this team together and do amazing things. We may have external competitors. How can we work with them even? How can we keep that game going?
Well, it's changed a lot, definitely, over the years. So, just to wrap up, we're almost out of time. How do you get involved with CEO Space? How can they find out more about it?
They can go online and just look up CEO Space International. We've got a Facebook fan page for our club here in Salt Lake. It's on Facebook, and it's CEO Space 2.0. Okay? And you can kind of see what we do there. We've got our next big luncheon, I think it's February 16th. I'm trying to put together sometime between now and then a training and a networking training where we will actually do exercises that we do at CEO Space, the snap circles.
Really cool.
And
make sure we have pens at the table.
Oh, we will.
We always forget to ask for pens. We're in a hotel and we never have pens.
And I'm gonna walk through with CEO Space members and potential CEO Space members, because the members may want to go back to the forums. We have 5 of them a year in Tampa at Innisbrook Golf Club. Phenomenal facilities, and so I'm going to take the people through a week of the CEO Space Forum and just walk them through what we actually do there that is so phenomenal. Forbes, Inc. magazine, both rate them as the #1 business accelerator forum that you must attend.
Yeah, that's great how they've got that.
Right.
We've got that.
And so those are 2 good things to do. Or email me, clay@personalsalesdynamics.com. I'd love to talk to you about that. Or call me. My number is 801-792-7929. And we can see how we can get you connected.
Great. We'll have all the info on the posts. And thank you very much for being on. Appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Keep your eyes and ears out for Ultra Perform, the show about performing your best at business and life. We have Les Jensen, who will be on tomorrow at 5 o'clock on the radio, on blogtalkradio.com/ultraperform, which is kind of long to say. You can find it on my Facebook page also. And after a day or something, 24 hours, you can have it on iTunes and iHeartRadio. Did you have something I should add, Samantha? Okay. I have people back there now, and they're like, hey, wait, say this. So guys, thank you very much for watching and listening, and we look forward to seeing you or hearing from you again. See ya. Take care. And then it takes a second for us to shut down there. Just make sure you post it after you shut it. Bye. That one you just have to post.
Keep, right?
Yeah, keep
the blue one. So broadcast details.
I think it did it. Which one is that one? Go down. Go back.
Share? Not share.
Okay. Oh, it's that little arrow. And then stop podcast. That's Twitter.
Do I
It's
just
a little
X
tricky.
out?
Sure. Wait.
Are you sure you want to stop for streaming?
Which one is it?
Twitter.
Is that okay?
No, this one's YouTube.
Share. 3 viewers. Sweet.